All right, we are live tonight. How's everybody doing? I'm glad you could join me for the live stream. I might have a couple people coming in late here, but normally we have a really good interaction here. And I'm elated to have at least one half of the Glitter Boom girls here. Unfortunately, we could not get Amy because she's just got some other stuff she's got going on. But we do have Robbie Ann McPherson, author extraordinaire, and one half of the Glitter Boom Girls. And we've already got a hi in the chat channel.
Hello, Tracy Roth-Myers.
Hello, Tracy. How are you doing? Okay, well, we're going to be talking about, we're going to open up to a general Q&A, but I'm going to go ahead and start. We talked a little bit about girl bands. And
a little.
right.
That's our specialty. We derail every podcast.
Well, this is going to be interesting. I actually should have put this up because I listened to your latest podcast today, and I had so much to talk about as far as your latest podcast was concerned.
McDonald's versus Burger King.
Yes, McDonald's versus Burger King. And as I recall, I believe you kind of squarely fall down on the McDonald's side.
No,
I mean Burger King.
Yeah.
Sorry, Burger King. That's what I meant. I said the word McDonald, but in my brain I meant Burger King.
That's why we have Burger Wars. Right. Amy was the McDonald's person. And I talked a lot about my mom too, who's a McDonald's person because of the sundaes and the little onions they put on the hamburgers.
Yeah.
What about Wendy's?
Well, they didn't talk about Wendy's.
I'm sorry. What is Wendy's?
What do you mean? What is Wendy's? That's the best.
No.
No.
These are Burger Wars, honey. There's no square burger in the Burger Wars. It's all about flame broiled Burger King versus the Golden Arches. Like, it's like tastes great, less filling. There's only room for two.
I don't know. Well, I used to work at Burger King, actually.
You said that in a message to me, right? So I have 1,000 questions. Can I ask you?
Oh, sure.
As long as nobody's
asking questions, sure.
And by the way, who the heck am I? So if no one shows up except for Tracy, let's bring her on and make it, a whole show about Tracy.
Okay.
Okay, so Burger King. Were you there when they made the ham and cheese sub sandwiches?
I don't remember that. I also worked at Hardee's, and we did have Hardee's there, but a ham and cheese at Hardee's.
Yeah, we don't have Hardee's in Buffalo. So yeah, the Thrash Pondo's he's shaking his head. Yeah, we don't.
I too am from the Northeast. I'm from Cape Cod, and we don't have them here either.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It must be like, I think it's like I think they go as far as maybe Indianapolis or something like that. And
I think Pennsylvania's got them, but no further northwest in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. So Burger King, when I was a kid in the 70s and 80s, Burger King made these ham and cheese sub sandwiches.
Right.
And it's like I dreamt it. Like no one remembers these things except me. They were my favorite food, I think, for like 2 years. Like I lived for these things. They were not hot though, because everyone says, "Oh yeah, the Yumbo, the hot ham and cheese." I'm like, no,
they weren't hot.
It was not melted. It was not heated. It was like a cold sub.
What year was this? The Burger King ham and cheese sandwich.
I remember getting them at least in the late 70s. And I don't remember when they stopped.
Okay.
But okay, the chicken
So I was
sandwich?
In the 90s. So I mean, that was a long time. I mean, I was a very young kid in the 70s. So.
Yeah, no, so was I. But I was just curious, like if you knew what happened to these things. They were so good, and I used to get them with a large fry and a Dr. Pepper, if I recall. I think they had Dr. Pepper back then, and if it wasn't, it was some kind of Coke or something like that.
They did.
John Collins is in the house.
Oh, is he talking about Amy's book?
Yeah. Thrash Pondo, read this for us, please.
I'm on it. Stop the presses. Amy Asbury's Sunset Strip Diaries is amazing. At first, I was like, what is this? Then I got it. It is riveting. It's also powerful. How can I get a signed copy of all of her books?
Oh, I bet I can arrange that. And you know what? I know if Amy was here, she would be so like humbled and bashful about it. So I'm going to take liberty and say, John, I think that is probably going to make Amy's day that that you were so excited by the book. And is there a way he can email you, right?
He can contact me. You can contact me, and I can be the middleman to set those things up.
We will get that for you, John. We will absolutely get that for you. The next book you should read, if you want a recommendation, is Confetti Covered Quicksand. That's a good one.
Okay. Confetti Covered Quicksand.
Yeah, isn't that a great title?
That is awesome.
It is.
Right.
It really is.
Right. And also, she's got, she has this great book called Once Upon the 80s. And it's like this thick. Okay. She wrote a book this thick. And it's so detailed. Like it's about these, this girl in the 80s. And it's kind of like a slice of life kind of thing, but she researched all the details, like the TV shows, the music, the clothes, I mean, she names names and she's got dates and everything else. So when you read the book, it's almost like a historical fiction, in a way for the 80s. But if you're an 80s fan, like you love the 80s, Once Upon the 80s, Amy Asbury. Yeah. And if anybody wants autograph copies, have them email you, Ian, and we'll make that happen for sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, I just wanted to say too that the grill marks on the flame broiler are real. They're real.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
because they're awfully uniform.
Well, okay. So think of like a grill you have outside. Like it's spaced evenly. Okay, so you get the raw hamburger. This is just as I recall. And it goes through this flame broiler on those things. So it's almost like a conveyor belt. So they're totally even. It's not like you're cooking on a grill and turning it over and, it might go scawampus. You set it on this thing and it goes across this flame broiler.
Okay.
That's what I remember, though. That's the only.
So the patty doesn't move. It's like a conveyor belt, and it's
a conveyor belt that goes through this flame broiler. There's flames in it and stuff, and it comes out on the other side.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm only going on memory, and this was, 30 years ago now? Isn't that so crazy?
Yeah, I have to say, like recording that episode and then like editing the episode. Oh, hi, Zoper Xplex.
Superplex. Hello, Tracy.
Oh, hello. He says hello, Tracy. Sorry.
They chat with each other in the chats all the time. They're always talking to each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
still getting the hang of how this all works here.
You're getting the hang of how it works. You and me both, miss. You and me both. Mr. 79 Man, our perennial friend. Sorry, I'm late to the party. 79 Man, you're right on time.
You're right on time, brother.
You're right on time.
So, okay, obviously, can I now I have 100 questions because that's just, hello. Hi, Mr. 79 Man.
Hi.
So obviously, like you guys do this on a regular basis. And so these are regular, people that join in the chat. Do we know, like, is there stuff about them that we know, or do you have any idea who they are?
When I spy on them, and I send the detectives saying, Tracy Rothmeyers, I got the name. Here's her IP address. Go look her up. No, I'm just kidding.
We know they're very loyal fans of ours.
Yeah, they're actually very loyal fans of a guy named Dave Sundstrom who runs the Good Stuff channel, and he does a Wednesday night thing. And these people me and Dave have become friends. I've been on his show a bunch of times, And so I decided to do live stuff too. And a lot of these people just kind of came over and they join us every week and ask questions, and they're super interactive. This is like the highlight of my week.
Oh,
So it's
well, it's the highlight of my week right now. I will tell you that. I'm really excited that some people came, and I want to ask them as many questions as they might want to ask
they,
me. So,
but to answer your question, the only thing I really know about them is kind of what they revealed to me, like online. A couple of them have emailed me. I know them more personally than others, but some people like to keep their anonymity.
sure. Oh
I
yeah,
understand
totally
that,
respect that. Yeah.
and they so cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
Mr. 79 Man says, I hit the like button.
Oh, good.
Yay!
He likes
And-
us. He likes us. Ooh. John Collins, Robbie Ann, is your book similar in scope to Sunset Strip Diaries?
No. My book's very different. Amy's book is pretty much based on her diaries. And she changed details, to protect the innocent, that whole thing. But the book is her, and it's kind of her history and stuff that happened to her. Well, I guess in a way my book might resemble that a little bit, but my book is fiction. And while I used some experiences that I had in writing it and in characters and that kind of a thing, my book is it's straight up fiction story, and it's kind of, I've been told by men that it's not a women's book, that men like my dad. By the way, shout out dad. I hope you're watching. I sent my dad the link, so he should be watching somewhere.
Oh, cool.
But he read it. And he's a Vietnam vet, he's an army guy, so if anybody was going to give a women's fiction book a male endorsement, like, it could be my dad. And he said he enjoyed it beyond the fact that I'm his daughter, and I'd cry if he didn't like it. But yeah, it's about a woman in her late 30s who, she lives in Montana. She's, waitress at a diner, not a great, exciting life. She's got just a mean boyfriend, and he's real emotionally abusive, and she's just kind of beat down, and she wants to get out of her life, but she doesn't know how. And one day, a couple of things kind of, happen, and she sees an out. And she basically grabs his pickup truck and just takes off. And she ends up breaking down on the highway in somewhere in like South Dakota. And this farmer, rancher, and his wife kind of say, hey, we'll help you out. She had a flat tire, we'll get you a new tire. Turns out she's got to spend the night. So she stays there, and while she's there, she kind of starts to realize, like, oh my God, I gotta get my life together. And I think I'm gonna go home to my mom's farm, even though my mom and I don't get along. That's where I'm headed. Like, that's where I'm gonna go. And the farmer, the rancher, rescues horses, and they don't have enough room for all of them. And she's got this big old horse trailer attached to her boyfriend's truck. And so she's like, you know what? She develops this connection with one of the horses, while she's waiting for her tire. And, there's a lot of conversations and a lot of things that go on in there, but she ends up taking the horse with her, shows up at mom's farm. Mom's not all that happy to see her, but, the rest of the story is kind of like, okay, if you've ever been like trapped in a job or a relationship or in any way possible, and somehow there's a way out, but you don't know what that is. And sometimes, one little decision, right, can just turn your life on a dime.
Right.
And you either just grab a hold and say, all right, I'm doing it. Or, do you cycle back and end up in the same place? So she starts working on the relationship with her mom. The farm is run down. She starts fixing it up. The horse can't be ridden because of injuries, but she goes for walks every day with the horse. And so she kind of starts thinking and talking, and, just when she starts to really get things together and say, all right, we're on the upswing now, and I think I got it, and blah blah blah. Guess who shows up looking for his truck?
Oh no.
Boy, I was getting this, the boyfriend.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's the
Oh
boyfriend.
no.
And then the last third of the book
yeah.
is what happens from there.
So it's act 1 is you introduce the characters. Act 2 is you develop the characters. Then act 2 is you put them in a bad situation. Act 3 you resolve the situation. And it sounds like act 2 is when the boyfriend shows up for that truck.
Yeah, the end of act 2.
The end, yeah, the end.
Yeah,
of
because
act 2.
Act 3 is kind of a wild ride. Like it's he really wreaks havoc and creates a lot of chaos, and the
Sounds
ending's a
exciting.
little surprise.
We should make a script, or you should make a script.
I've tried writing a script. Have you guys ever tried writing a script?
Yes.
Right? How about anybody in the chat? Has anybody in the chat ever tried writing a script?
I've got about 3 movie ideas. So
it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Convincing dialogue is the toughest thing in the world to write.
You're right. Convincing dialogue, he said. Yes. And you can study it and you can, you can rewrite and try. It is really difficult to write compelling dialogue for movies. It's a little different in a book, not totally different, but a little bit. But I go to in Jaws when the old grizzled captain is giving the speech to Richard Dreyfuss, about the old boat and the thing that sank, right? That is probably one of the greatest pieces of film dialogue and an amazing performance. I just forgot the guy's name. You
Robert
probably
Shaw.
know it. Thank you. I knew you'd know it. You seem like that guy that knows, everybody's name.
Remember that movie, the music store you worked in, where you were the go-to? I worked in a movie store, and I was the go-to.
All right, I love it. Okay, so I might have to tap you because I'm sort of like I'm a savant, I guess. Like some movies, I know every single name, and then others I'm just like, what's that guy? But yeah, you're right. It was Robert Shaw, and it is such an arresting scene. I mean, you just sit there whenever you watch the movie, and you're like frozen for the whole scene, and you might notice that you're holding your breath. Oh.
Mr. 79 says, "Hi, Robbie's dad. Thank you for your service." Yes.
We're getting backed up on comments here. We got to get through a few of them here.
I'm gonna cry, Mr. 79. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Superblick says Burger King was hold the pickles, hold the lettuce. Special orders don't upset us. All we ask is that you let us your way.
That's right.
That's correct.
Now let's hope we don't get sued.
It's fair use.
Superplex. Ian C is great.
I got to have you read that one, of course. Let's see.
Free advertising for BK.
Right.
Let's see.
John Collins. Well, Ian knows we're all awesome, but both of the guys are awesome guys.
Oh, well,
Agreed.
Thank you very much.
Totally agreed.
I like you guys from the bottom. I'm trying to find
some guys. I like you guys from the bottom of my heart.
Let's see.
I like you too, Tracy.
Let's see. Uh-oh. You're cracking up here, buddy. Read.
I'll read it. I wonder if Robbie experienced something like that. Zoperplex, do you mean in my book?
Probably. That's probably what he's talking about. He's probably like, is it kind of loosely based on a life tale or?
Well, I did live in Montana.
And
tell
me more.
Yeah, right. I can tell you a lot about Montana. I was not a waitress at a diner in Montana, but I was a waitress at a diner in LA.
That's right.
So, yes and no.
That's where you met your
That's
other
where I met
half,
Amy. Yeah,
Amy.
my other glitter boom girl. Yeah, there are some of my experiences that are woven in, let's say. And there were some things that have happened to me in my life that I felt like I had something to say. You know, I either wanted to describe a way to change it so that it would help people,
Hmm.
or I just wanted to get something off my chest.
I see.
There's a little bit of that too in the book.
Right. Well, Tracy also says I actually can see a bit of myself in this story.
Oh,
LOL.
okay. I hope it's the good parts, Tracy. But
Well, I'm
if
sure
it's
it is.
not, then you and I are sisters from another mister.
All right. Uh, n- uh, Thrash Pondo, can you read this? Are you frozen on me?
Well, am I muted again? I tried to
You're,
unmute. Can you hear me okay?
Oh,
I
yeah,
can
we
hear
can
you
hear you.
fine, and now
Good,
you're
good.
frozen.
Right, your
I'll-
face isn't moving, but we can hear you.
That's
I'll work
okay.
on that in a second. John Collins says Amy has visceral feelings when certain songs come on the radio. I have the same reaction when I hear Shattered Dreams because I always think about my mother because I was foster care as a child.
Oh,
Oh,
wow, John, that's pretty powerful. Yeah, and you know what's funny? I know the song you're talking about, Johnny Hates Jazz. Giving me, nothing but shattered dreams.
shattered
And
dreams,
right, feel like I could run away.
run away.
So there was a guy that I was head over heels in love with right when that song came out, and he wanted to date me, and he chased after me, and I don't know, he was kind of a little shady, and so I sort of demurred, and then all of a sudden he found this other girl, and she, I won't say his name, but I'll say hers. It was Heather.
Ugh.
Heather. So he fell in love with Heather. And
Is that one of those names now you hate? You have you have to work past getting
yeah, like if
to
someone's
like
named
the
Heather,
person.
I'm like, oh damn. No, I'm sure you know what. Actually, she was a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
She's probably like, I don't know. She's probably living a great life now. But oh, was I? Because it was the whole like, wait a minute, I want something that I don't have, and that whole thing. And I would drive around in my little Fiat Strada hatchback with no muffler,
Mm.
with that song cranking. Oh, you're giving me shattered dreams because I was so like
Yeah.
regretful. I mean, of course now I'm like, whoa, dodged a bullet. But I feel you, John. And you know what? The song is kind of creepy, right? It's it's sad, and the chords, and the guy's vocal. I don't know his name from Johnny Hates Jazz, but
I don't know either.
it's yeah.
I'm more
I
the
totally get
music
that.
guy, and but I don't remember that name. Wasn't it? I mean, I know that song, but
Mhm.
Right. Maybe
I
somebody
c-
could look it up.
maybe maybe. But interestingly enough, one of the videos or podcasts that I listen to most everything on YouTube. That's just I pay the extra. When Cobra Kai came out, I had to watch it, and so I paid for YouTube Red, and it was actually pretty good because you could listen to stuff offline. So I just listened to if there's a podcast on YouTube, I listen to it on YouTube. I was listening in preparation for my own video that's coming out real soon here about Three's Company. And you guys did a whole episode on Three's Company as well.
We did. Yeah, Three's Company. Oh, wait, I can't help it. I'm looking at some of these comments. Is it okay if I reference some of the comments? Like,
Please,
am I
yes.
allowed to do that?
Oh,
Okay.
for sure. Which
'Cause
ones?
First of all, somebody said one of those chicks has a beard, which is cracking me up. Because they're probably thinking I just think that's funny. I know Amy's not here. I wish she would be having a ball. Well, maybe if we're lucky, we get to do this again when Amy can make it.
Yes.
But like Tracy said, I would not hate her, but I would be pissed at the ex. Which, yeah, you're right. You're totally right. Because it wasn't her fault. She was just fabulous, and he was, and I wasn't. I wasn't around, right? And then Zoperplex said, "Girl power, Robbie, stay strong. You dodged a bullet." And so I appreciate that. I just wanted to shout out there. That's really nice. But yeah,
Mark,
so Wait, what were we talking about? Johnny
Clark
Hates Jazz?
Datchler. Clark Datchler was the young man's name, I believe.
Oh, thank you.
I snuck off, looked it up, and came back.
Thrash Panda with the Wikipedia. Thank you. Okay.
Right
No one the
on.
wiser.
Yeah.
I'm
At your
jealous.
service.
I'm jealous, Robbie, because you got to meet some of the cast members of Three's Company.
Oh yeah, Three's Company. That's what we were just talking about. Right. So when Amy and I worked at this deli in Los Angeles, I'm sorry if I'm making noise. You can hear me in my mic, right? Or am I coming through my? Oh, okay.
No, I hear you, Mike.
Okay, great. So a lot of celebrities came in there because it was in an area where a lot of them lived, and the San Fernando Valley, and John Ritter came in one day with his wife Amy, and my Amy and I we talk about this in the Three's Company podcast episode. So famous people came in there all the time, like super famous people. Okay. And we were so miserable working there. So after a while it was like, oh, Paul Stanley wants some matzo ball, whatever, and like we just got jaded. But John Ritter walks in and everybody lost their minds. Like all the servers, he had like 20 servers because everyone's like, more coffee, Mr. Ritter, more coffee.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure.
We were so excited. And the cooks
when
came
you
out.
Told me that story, I would have lost my mind. John Ritter
Right?
is one of my all-time favorites. I mean, seriously, all-time favorites.
Such a talented actor and comedian. And that, he made the physical comedy on that show. He was like the linchpin of the whole idea, of making that show all about physical comedy because he was so good at it. And I'm here to tell you what a nice man. And you can tell a lot about people when they come into a restaurant. And sometimes people have a bad day, but you can usually tell whether it's a nice person with a bad day or just a not nice person. And he and his wife were so lovely and so accommodating to all of us fawning all over them. And trust me, a lot of celebrities, they're not like that. So I have such fond memories of him. And I was like millions of people, I was really sad when he passed. That was
sudden too. I mean, it was really bad.
And I feel for his family and his son. His son is such a talented actor too. So but that was a great show. It
was a big part of both of our childhood. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, it was edgy. It pushed the edges a little bit, and it was just zany funny. I mean, the whole misadventure.
Yeah.
I'm hiding. Everybody thinks I'm talking about a book, but I'm really talking about my cat. Kind of thing is just hilarious. And a few sitcoms have made me laugh that hard other than that one.
Yeah, I agree. And I've had lots of arguments with people because if you guys listen to us, you know that we are not snobs and we are not snarky. We there's enough of that. People can go somewhere else for snark. And I've had definite arguments about the value of that show. Now, was it meant to be something highfalutin? No, it wasn't. It was meant to be funny. It was meant to be like fall down laughs. And even when they lost the Ropers, right? And then Mr. Furley, Don Knotts comes in. I mean, Don Knotts is a legend, right? Like
right.
How can you say like he did such a great job and he made the show even funnier with the character of Mr. Furley, with the scarves and I used to say if people are snobby about it, go watch a Moliere play, the French playwright. Go watch one of those plays. It's the exact same stuff. I mean,
I didn't follow that last part at all. You did need to explain it to me because I must have had the deer in the headlights look. Because I'm like, Moliere
I did.
play.
I saw that.
I'm like,
look.
what is that?
Well,
let's pretend.
We studied it in high school, and I remember this play. I think it's called One from the Pot.
Ah,
And it's very funny, lots of double entendres, lots of like physical comedy, and obviously a different literary level, than Three's Company, but it's kind of the same genre, and it's just meant to be fun. It's not meant to be thought provoking, and it's not it wasn't supposed to be the things that people criticized it for not being, if that
right.
makes sense.
Right. Got some chats coming in. Let's go ahead and get to them.
John Collins says, has Amy's book been optioned? Because I think Demi Lovato or Billie Eilish could play her, and Danny DeVito could play your dad, and Julie Roberts could play her mother, and Joan Jett could be the aunt.
Oh my gosh. I love that. That is I can't even argue with any of those casting choices. I can't at all. Her dad was like he was a really handsome guy, so maybe a more Tom Selleck type. But Danny DeVito could pull it off. I mean, he's a great actor, and as long as the girl who plays Amy is complex and stunningly beautiful, and kind of world-wise, like streetwise, world weary, then that type of actress could play her for sure.
Got a lot of other comments coming in here.
Trithos Myers, I love Three's Company, abbreviated.
Right?
Superplex. And who can forget Suzanne Summers?
Oh gosh, yeah. Right?
No one can forget her.
No one can forget her.
You also got to meet Joyce DeWitt.
I did. I did. I mean, I got to like meet Joyce DeWitt. It wasn't just waiting on her. I was in a VIP area of this wonderful event they have in Buffalo called the World's Largest Disco. And I think she was afraid of me because I think I had too many rum and cokes, but I was so excited. I was like, "Oh my God, Joyce DeWitt!" Like I was excited, and she was sweet. She was really nice, But I think she was sort of like, "What is this girl gonna do? Like, is she okay? Or is she gonna? Oh, nope, just a picture. Okay, But
you came in kind of over the top
excited. Oh yeah. I was like, I was thrilled. I mean, it's just
I would have been too.
She looked amazing too, and I saw her. Listen, I saw her up close. Okay, and she was just. She looks just like she does on TV, like bright-eyed, really fit, and just a beautiful face. She has really beautiful eyes. Yeah, that was cool.
Well, she had beautiful eyes on the television show too. So, and I know you talked about her hair. I'm going to have to stop about the Three's Company thing for just a bit, because we are going to be talking about this next week, and I don't want to say too much. No, it's fine. It's one of the shows that you've done that I wanted to kind of point out. Because I've listened to a handful of them now. The one about McDonald's, Burger King one, that one gets me.
I'm so happy you liked it.
That one's hilarious. But like I said, I worked at Burger King, so I'm sitting there thinking about all the stuff you're saying. On and I was a Burger King fan too. But you know what's interesting, Robbie Ann, and that is, I hardly ever eat at McDonald's, like hardly ever, like ever. Like I hadn't eaten at McDonald's in probably a good 17 years. And just this last year, I'm like, I don't know what it is. I want a Big Mac. I can't figure it out. I'm going to go there. I had a Big Mac and a double quarter pounder cheeseburger, and I enjoyed the hell out of them, quite honestly. So
was it a commercial? Like you saw a commercial or something, or drove by the Golden Arches? Like what was the?
Yeah, maybe. I ate both McDonald's and Burger King when I was little, and so I wondered, I just, there's some reason the craving hit me again. Maybe it could have been a commercial, although I couldn't tell you. And now since this last year, about every 4 months, 3 months, I'll go get a Big Mac for some reason. And we had at the place that I work, we had a Burger King right behind us, and it shut down. And I used to go to Burger King like at least once a week. I'd go to Burger King and get food at Burger King. Even
that
up
would
to
be dangerous if I
even
worked behind a Burger King.
Yeah, I bet. You're a big fan. But what surprised me about it is you said you've never had a Whopper or a Big Mac.
Nope. I am a hamburger loyalist.
What
Like,
do you,
plus it just, for me, it was too much food. Like this towering burger and when you get to be a teenage girl, and you find out that there's like 1,200 calories in either sandwich, then you kind of go, eh. But I was never, I wasn't about the special sauce, aka Thousand Island dressing, or all the stuff like hold the pickles, hold the lettuce, special lettuce on, or 2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onion, sesame seed bun. Like I'm like, no, I want my hamburger with extra ketchup,
right?
my large fry, and my Dr. Pepper or Coke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I understand that, but I do have to say, and I have to apologize about this. I think McDonald's had the better breakfast, though. I do think
Agreed.
McDonald's had the better breakfast. I did not like
Agreed.
the breakfast at Burger King.
Yeah, you're right. And in fact, you're making me realize we didn't cover, because we talked for so long. This was it was like an hour we went on. And we never even got to breakfast. So maybe there's a part 2 in there. Maybe
There could be.
Maybe we could talk about fast food breakfast, and there's your Wendy's Fresh Pondo.
Oh, well, thank you. Shout out to the number 3.
Well, listen, if I have a choice, though, I have to be honest. If I have a choice, it's always Wendy's for me. That's like number 1, and then
is it the chili?
No, it's the burgers. The burgers are just they're more hefty. They're more
Baconator.
Yeah, the Baconator. It seems more like real food. I don't know.
And it doesn't hurt with me. It's down the street from where I live. I could walk there if I was feeling ambitious. It's not just you walk back to burn the calories.
Well, that matters. Proximity matters, I think.
Well, sure. One of the things is when I was on a low carb diet, a long time ago, I used to go to Wendy's because you get the triple and just get rid of the bun. You know what I mean? Just eat all the meat.
3 hamburgers?
Yeah, not 3 hamburgers, a triple. It's 1 hamburger.
Yeah, but why do they call it a triple?
Like,
is it 3 patties?
Yes, 3 patties.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's
a lot of patties.
Oh man,
I don't eat that much. That's too much. That's too much for me.
We haven't even started about In-N-Out. Now, wait a minute. Somebody has to ask this question, but I got to go through everybody. And then we've got to go on to another podcast I do want to ask you about. I do want to ask you about this other podcast. So, but we got to solve this here. Oh, no, wait a minute. There we go.
Ian C., which one has the better fries?
Big debate.
Yeah, big debate. Overall, I like Burger King, so I'm going to get Burger King fries. But if somebody was just like saying, hey, I'm going to go get fries somewhere, I would probably choose McDonald's. Just slightly. But what about you two? Tell me, what do you think, Robbie Ann?
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Well, here's one. Does anybody remember the BK curly fries?
Oh, yeah.
Because those were phenomenal. Those are the best fast food fries I've ever had. So
really,
if I had to do of all time, I would do the BK fries.
Were they seasoned? Didn't they have? Yeah, they had some kind of coating on them. That's what
cayenne.
That's what I didn't like. I would have liked them without the coating.
Gotcha. But if I had going based on what's available in this day and age, I would have to go with the Burger King fries. I'm just biting my tongue. I'm doing it now too. I would go with the McDonald's fries.
Well,
those would be my choice.
Well, what about this? Do you remember the Satis fries? They're supposed to have less fat in them.
Oh, those were I wasn't a big fan of those because I thought it's not worth it. Like the
what's the point?
Yeah, the reduction in flavor wasn't worth the reduction in fat. The ratios were off. Like I'd rather just and let's face it, if you are at McDonald's, you have derailed from your diet. So
It's not going to be good for you. Let's face it.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I want a McDonald's now so bad. By the way, I want chicken McNuggets really
I'm going to
bad.
grab that to Wendy's. Ian C., you broke Burger King's heart. He will excommunicate you now.
I've been excommunicated for a long time here. Let's see.
Braidwood. Hey, Braidwood. I have been in California for a few years, and
I think In-N-Out.
In-N-Out is the most overrated place in the country. Never been there. You guys?
It's not overrated. I love it.
I have eaten definitely my share of In-N-Out burgers, and even tried, the secret menu. You order it animal style, which is like mustard or something. I have to agree with Braidwood in. I do like their fries. Their fries are good. I'm pretty sure they're fresh cut. But the burgers are not flame broiled, and I am just a flame broiled girl.
It makes it really taste good. That flame broiler really makes it taste good.
But In-N-Out is definitely an institution. It's and from what I understand, just a nice company too. So I don't want to like trash In-N-Out, but I have to agree. I wish In-N-Out would flame broil. I bet you if they flame broiled their burgers, no, because everybody loves them the way they are. Yeah,
people go to In-N-Out because they like the In-N-Out. Gonna go backwards here because John Collins has kind of a larger question, and then that'll give us a good shift into the next question that I want to ask you.
Twinkle Miner says, I liked Wendy's salad bar.
I remember that. I remember the salad bar and the potato bar. I don't know.
The potato bar. I liked the potato bar. Yeah, when I worked at a record store, I used to go to the Wendy's and get a whole, but I had a process.
Oh, what'd you do? What was your process?
It was cheddar, bacon, sour cream, butter, and ketchup on the side.
Right.
I've got to have a potato right now.
Right?
I'm so odd on this. I don't like baked potatoes that much at all.
Really?
So
why?
It's just not my thing. I don't know why. They just are not my thing. They're too potatoey. I mean, you fry it.
That's the idea.
It's like when somebody says fish tastes too much like fish, it's not cooked right. I'm like, well, I feel the same way about potatoes. When they taste too much like potatoes, I just don't like them. They got to taste like the fryer.
I'll buy that.
All right.
Oh, Joan Cones. Do the Glitter Bomb girls have a Patreon or buy me a coffee to support the channel and to, in effect, purchase every book that you guys have written?
We do not. We have thought about things like that, but we're relatively new at this. So our whole idea was, listen, let's do it for fun and just see if people like it, and if it works, quote unquote, and throw it out there. So yeah, I don't know. We haven't really gotten to a stage where we want to charge people. I mean, you can buy both of our books are on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. Like, we're actually like published. So if you want to buy the books, you can get them that way. But yeah, I don't know. You don't you have a patron, Ian? You have a patron for this, right?
Yeah.
How's that working for you? Do you?
I've got a couple people so far. I mean, it's pretty easy to set up, and just kind of set up the level, and then you offer. Right now, the only thing that I offer, I have a tip jar, and then I have a $5 a month for early release, so they get almost all videos, and podcast one day in advance. So they make it pretty user friendly. Look, I'm a moron. And if I can do it, this whole thing that I've done here has really been a trial and error. I've really learned as I went.
Exactly.
I just look it up on YouTube, how to set up a Patreon page, and they just walk you right through it. Got to say hi to a couple of people who joined us late. Mr. Danny Staten, took a break from out hunting Bigfoot to stop in and say hi.
Hi, Danny.
And Georgia Aris.
Georgia Ayers.
I'm so elated that you are here, Georgia. And now here's another question I have to ask you, or I want to ask you, see where the conversation goes. Because one of the other podcasts that I listened to that I just connected with, I've connected with a lot of them, by the way, because, this is my generation growing up and stuff. But one of the other ones I connected with was I Survived the Wooden Spoon. And to hear what happened to you and poor Amy over the things that you went through. And we came from a generation where, it was not uncommon to get the belt.
Well, corporal punishment, times have changed, and there are so many things now that are different, I think, about parenting. I'm not a parent myself, but my friends are, and so we're not making any commentary about whether things were right or wrong or whatever. All we wanted to do with that episode was, and hi, Georgia. I didn't get a chance to say hi to you. We thought this whole generation, right, Gen X, we have all these things in common, and I think sometimes when like, I know we get messages about this a lot. When we talk about something and someone will write us and say, wow, I thought I was the only person who, thought about that or felt that way or went through that or something. And so for us, we just thought, wow, you know what? Let's talk about it. Let's do it in our way, where we just tried to present things lightly. We don't take ourselves seriously at all.
Yeah.
Because why? But we were, when we finished recording that podcast episode, we were both kind of like, wow, like, is this too serious for us? Or, did we get too deep and sad or something? And
as an outside observer, let me just say that I loved the episode. That's why I wanted to talk about it, and it probably connected not with just me, but with a lot of people. It did seem to have a more air of a bit more serious of a topic than probably your other episodes.
Sure.
But I wouldn't say, your guys' personality came across the same way. So it was still fun, lighthearted, even though it was a serious episode. Okay. And it was one of those things that, like, 20 years later, you can laugh about. You couldn't laugh about it then, but you know what I mean?
Right.
Hearing about...
Good. That was our goal.
Amy, thinking, not knowing that this is a tuna fish sandwich and chewing on it, and then being in trouble because she couldn't handle soggy food. I totally identified with that. And the actual physical punishment that he went through, I identified with that as well. And you said one of the things was, I'm sorry if I'm confusing the two, but was it something about your sister as well?
Oh, that was Amy. Amy was talking about her sister and family dynamics. I think that's why we got kind of serious, I guess, in a way, because we often talk about our families and our childhoods and our history because we think it's more interesting, rather than just simply talking about statistics or a TV show or something. Sometimes it's fun to, say, like I said, where we're talking about something and we get these messages of people going, oh my God, me too. But when we, I bet you every single one of our friends here in the chat room, you, Trash Pando, Trash Pondo. I keep wanting to say Trash Panda, right? But
a Trash Panda, that sounds cool. I'm a Trash Panda.
Yeah, you're it's a raccoon, right?
There you go.
So, but every single one of us, we've all been through stuff.
Yeah,
it's called life, and we found that a lot of people that like nostalgia and do these kinds of creative things and stuff like this, a lot of people have been through hard stuff, And I know I have, Amy has. And so when you get past it, or you figure out a way to cope, or or you just finally learn to laugh at it, I think it's helpful to share that. And then maybe somebody else out there, even if it's just one person, who listens and says, wow, I feel better. I feel better for some reason. Even if we just made them laugh, like that's really our goal.
Okay. Good goal. But I do have to ask you to expand on the fact that you did record that episode with your mother present in the room.
Well, see, this is our whole when we have to stop and ask ourselves, is this too much?
Right.
Then we immediately know, okay, we got to do it, because chances are it probably is. And so let's do it. And my parents and I are very close. They're not together anymore, but I'm very, very close with both of them. And my mom happened to have stayed overnight at my house, and we watched movies and had popcorn or whatever. So she was here the next day when Amy and I recorded this episode. And I actually put headphones on her, and I said, Mom, do you want to sit with us? Like, what do you want to be on the podcast? And then you can deny or or explain or counter.
Say, yeah.
Yeah. You can say, that's not how it happened. And she said, no, I'll just listen. She didn't want to, do the whole podcast. But yeah, she was pretty funny, because afterward I was like, how do you not remember any of this? And she's like, I don't know. Maybe you made it all up. I'm like, I don't think I made
that up.
I don't think so.
I could be wrong about that. Yeah, I got my share of whoopings when I was a kid, for sure.
For doing what?
It would depend on how serious my mother was, and I had some time there with the stepfather. That was interesting.
Yeah.
And my grandfather, beat me on occasion, and actually like it when my grandfather beat me, because he'd pick me up by the arm, and he would whip me so fast that I couldn't feel it. So all I had to do was pretend.
Oh, okay. So you preferred the punishment delivered from him.
I couldn't believe that I didn't, because the belt, I just didn't feel the belt when it was going so fast. It was like, it didn't hurt me for some reason.
Do you think he did that on purpose? Like he didn't want to hurt you?
Oh, heck no. No, because one time there was a stick that was close, and he grabbed that thing and whopped the heck out of me. Woo, I couldn't believe it. It was different things. There were different times in our lives, different phases. There was a phase where my mom was trying to be very proactive mother, and she was a single mom doing the very best she could with an only child who was a boy who was a hellion. But there were times where she was just like, okay, this is the punishment and you're going to go to your room and think about it, and now you're going to come out and you're going to get X amount of spankings. And then there were times where I just push her buttons in her limit, and whatever she had in her came out. So it was just different things for different times.
Right. Yeah, that's an important, I think, an observation that comes when we become adults, right? We look back and we realize, like you said about your mom being a single mother. I mean, is there anything harder in the world than being a working single mother? Like, to me, those are superheroes. Like, I can barely keep my life together, and all I have are 2 cats. Like, I can't imagine trying to, especially back in the day, right? Like in our childhood, when things were a little bit less equal for women. So that has to be hard. But we grow up and we realize, you know what? Number one, in my case anyway, I know that my parents did the absolute best that they could, and I don't look back at anything in anger. And number two, there's a certain point where we are adults, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're no longer some 8-year-old kid. Like, okay, now your life is your choice. Now your life is up to you. You can do with it what you want. There are choices. Like, that's a huge theme in my book. And I think that's part of what I wanted to say. And part of the things that I wanted to get out there was it's about choices. Like, and hey, listen, I'm not preaching about it because if we had like 4 hours, I could go over all the bad choices that I
Yeah,
made in
right,
my
right.
life.
For
And I look
sure.
back now, I'm like, why did I do that? Like, why? But
Let's-
you have to look at yourself the same way. Like, I
r-
did the best I could,
Don't we all? Don't we all? Oh, John
right?
Collins is back. I want to tell Robbie Ann, you and Amy brought the best out of Ian. That was by far his best episode. I agree. I watched myself twice, and I think it was amazing. You guys were just on point the whole time.
And
Oh.
actually, my mom commented too and said that was the best episode.
Oh, you know what? I love that. I'm so excited to hear that. I mean, I don't know that I would necessarily agree, but you were sure a good sport because after we finished, the first thing Amy said to me when we got off the call, she was like, "Oh my God, did we like run him over?" And I'm like,
Oh,
you know
I'm
what?
tough.
I think we did.
I'm tough. I'm tough. But let me just say too, and I don't want to disparage any of my other guests. I've had great guests, so I
Yes,
don't.
yes, you
yeah.
have. I love your show. It's really
Thank
cool.
you. Really appreciate it. And
Oh, Duplex. John Collins, I think Ian C has a thing for Amy and Robbie.
you wouldn't be wrong, John. You wouldn't be wrong. All right. Let's see. Let's.
John Collins. Zuper, I don't think we're legally allowed to inquire about that, but I agree with you.
Listen to you guys. Like these are troublemakers here.
Yeah, they are
You're stirring
trubby.
up stuff.
It's become the lunch table in middle school all of a sudden. Oh,
Right.
Pedro's Myers, 100% to Robbie.
You think?
Oh, I'm not sure what Tracy. What was that referring to? 'Cause
I don't know because these
God
chats
knows
get away
I've been
from us
talking about
Yeah.
100 things.
a little bit. Let's see. I got one more here.
John Collins. Can I ask a question about Amy? Does she still drink a lot even when... I'll come in again. Even with her past history of bad situations after drinking.
Oh yes, she writes about all that in Sunset Strip Diaries. I don't think she would mind me saying that she is not a big drinker. No.
Okay. All right. Well, as long as it doesn't get too personal or whatever.
Right.
All right. Well, we are coming up on the end of our hour here live. And I just want to thank you, Robbie, for being...
Oh my gosh. Please, the pleasure is all mine. I am so excited to have met, well, if this is meeting, everybody in the chat room. I'm so grateful that you guys hung around, and
Right.
I'm really, really grateful to you, Ian, and to you, Thrash Pondo,
Thank you very
for
much.
having me on. Like this is just so much fun for us, and anyone that listens. We're just like, really? You
Yeah.
listen? You read? Oh my God.
That's how I feel too. When people
Right?
then they're like, "Whoa, hey, you like the show?" Like, I didn't know. You just you
Yeah.
raise your flag and you see who salutes it. Okay. So by the way, too, I'm going to do an open door invitation for you anytime, because this is kind of what it is. We just get on here and we read comments and we talk about last week's episode. So anytime you want to come on, and I will definitely talk to Dave too, because that's kind of what he does too. He just does a thing where he'll like take a subject, like last week was Knight Rider, and we just take comments and talk and stuff. Yeah. So, and he said, well, you got to get me connected, because I would definitely like to have them on the show. So we got to do that.
We're so down for it. And any topic like that, I mean, Knight Rider, I have a brother who unfortunately is no longer with us, but he was the biggest Knight Rider fan. Holy crap. Like,
yeah.
he was all about Knight Rider and the Dukes of Hazzard and the A-Team.
Oh yeah,
that was the big
some of
trifecta.
the best cars, right?
Right.
The A-Team van, the Knight Rider, and some good stuff there. Robbie, please let everybody know how they can connect with you. Let them know about your podcast a little bit before we sign off here.
Sure. You can go to our website, Glitter Boom. We picked boom because we didn't want to be like, like violent, like a bomb, right? So glitterboomgirls.com. And that has links to our Instagram and our Twitter, and the podcast is right there. So we're also on YouTube too. So if you guys like YouTube, go to our channel, our Glitter Boom Girls channel. And we have a couple other playlists where, like, if we talk about something and if we remember, we'll put like the video in an extra playlist, like podcast topics and stuff. So there's
cool.
some fun little things in there. Yeah.
Right on. Well, right on. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Let me just say, I'm always overwhelmed by the amount of interaction that I have here with you guys. It really means the world to me. I love you all. Do me the favor of liking, subscribing, share it on your favorite social media. Just to let you know, I just did a video today on 5 things that you may not have known about growing pains. And it's up today for the Cornflake Club members, but it'll be out tomorrow for everyone else. So like that video, subscribe, and share it on your favorite social media. All right, everyone, until we meet again, stay retro.